time to to introduce the next presenter, Anna Kasheva. Please join me here online. Click on Go on Air and start webcasting.
Hello, Julia.
Hello, Anna. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks a lot. Lots of useful events.
I can see you're busy running, a range of webinars.
Yes. So this week is really busy, but I believe that this support will help teachers to start exam preparation course and of course to improve their qualification, because professional development is extremely important. Dear friends, Anna is a teacher trainer at BKCIH Moscow Teacher Training Center, one of the best teacher training centers in Russia, the hugest teacher training center. And now Anna is going to talk about Delta, another qualification for teachers of English. So Anna, you are welcome. Can you see your presentation? Can you see?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes. Great. What's about the arrows to change the slides?
Yeah, I can see everything. Thank you, Julia. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great.
That's
Good
been
luck.
helpful. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So thank you, Julia, for presenting me and presenting my center. I'm just hoping that everyone is feeling well, safe, wherever you are in this tricky time moment. Yeah. So stay safe, please. And yeah, let's get started. So the topic of this presentation is going to be Delta. Yeah, one of the qualifications that you might be interested in. Let me just start, because some of you may not know me. Let me just start by introducing myself. And I'm going to show you, well, you can see some of the information in front of you on the slide. This is about my teaching experience. Yeah, I started teaching when I was 18 years old. Obviously, I was a student at the first university, Russian university at that time. And I was completely unaware what I'll be doing and how, I was going to teach. So basically, starting by doing everything by trial and error. Yeah, at the moment, of course, we have quite a lot of courses, books that we can rely on, yeah, and we can get experience by that. However, yeah, I started by working with young learners, and then I extended the repertoire of my teaching techniques and courses that I delivered. Working with general English, exam preparation, business English, yeah, all the age groups, all the range of classes, intensive courses, super intensive courses, yeah, and so on and so forth. Why it's important to highlight that? Yeah, well, first of all, I want you to get to know me a little bit. Yeah, and secondly, it is important in terms of preparing for Delta. The wider the range of courses that you're running, the wider is the range of age groups you're working with, yeah, the better experienced you are, yeah, the more experienced you are and the better prepared you are for the models. Now, could you please type in pluses in the chat box if there is something on this slide which resonates with you. For example, you're working with younger learners, or you've been preparing students for exams, any of the exams, yeah, international exam or the Russian state exam. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Right, so we've got something in common. That's good. Okay, so as I have already mentioned, I'll be talking about Delta, and Delta is a teaching qualification. Before me, you had a couple of other webinars about other teaching qualifications, and I just want to clarify a little bit, yeah, what Celta and Delta are like, yeah. So they're all teaching qualifications, and Delta is at the same level as master's degree. right? I'll talk about the components of Delta in a moment. You'll become better aware what it's like and what models you can take. All of them models are monitored by Cambridge Assessment English, yeah, and supervised. If you get Delta, you'll get a greater chance to get a job abroad. And it might be particularly beneficial for those who have some experience in teaching different teaching contexts, right? And I've just highlighted which ones you might have got experienced with. Right. Now, what do you think Delta stands for? So, as you can see, I'm splitting Delta into sections. Yeah, so D stands for, who can help me? Use the chat box. I'm inviting you to guess what might D be about. Diploma. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, right. Then English, very good. Okay, so we have degree or diploma. Yeah, makes sense. Development, I like it. L, how about L? Language, right. How about T? Teaching, perfect. And A, adults. Julia just highlighted that for you, I think, yeah? Well, the thing is, you are somehow mistaken, misled, yeah, because it used to be like that, but it's no longer true. At the moment, we are looking at Delta and Celta as not abbreviations, not as acronyms, but certificates or diplomas in teaching English to speakers of other languages. That doesn't mean that we are teaching only adults. No, not at all. My Delta Model 3 work was on teaching young learners, and I designed a course for teaching juniors, yeah, Russian school children. So it's totally wrong. So just to clarify that, I think it's very important to understand. So if you're a school teacher, you can still be interested in getting either Celta or Delta, or both of them, just in the right order. Cool, thank you very much. Okay, now, who is Delta for? Now, Delta is actually for experienced teachers, but what we mean when we say he or she is an experienced teacher, yeah, it's quite hard to say. So maybe they've got 20 years of experience, yeah, or maybe just a couple of years of experience. So who is actually can be regarded as a qualified and well prepared for that experience? Well, what we mean by that is it's a good idea to take a course like Celta to get the initial teaching qualification. And then if you continue teaching, you gain experience, post-Celta experience. Now, a recommended period is at least 1 year after Celta, and then you can apply for Delta, and you might be accepted. But of course, the requirements are different at different centers. There is no such a thing as formal requirement, yeah, but there are certain recommendations, and trainers usually assess your understanding of the theories, methodology, your understanding of the teaching principles, some basic principles, your understanding of what is happening in ELT, yeah, and how well aware you are, how you can apply it to your teaching context, okay? But what you can see, the bullet points that I'm highlighting on the slide, is just the, it's good to have some experience with different age groups, yeah, different classes, different types of teaching contexts. As for the level of English, as for TKT, they require B1. For Celta and Delta qualifications, it's more like advanced, yeah, in between C1 and above that. So I guess if you've taken Celta, for example, and you're preparing for Delta, you don't worry about that because you already confirmed your level of proficiency. But if you're preparing for that, it's good to keep in mind. Right. Now, Delta is a 3-module there are three components, yes, three models, yeah. It's a three model thing, let's put it this way. So which model do you think is the most important, just by looking at the numbers? Do they say something? Are they self-explanatory? The second one. Okay, right. Okay, I think you have different priorities, and to be honest, there is no right answer for this question. It's just, I've just challenged you to elicit some ideas, obviously. But the thing is, the numbers say something, yeah? There has been an idea behind that, that Delta Model 1 is focused on testing your understanding of the principles related to teaching, how well aware you are of the teaching resources, can you evaluate them effectively, do you know what assessment is like, and so on and so forth. Delta Model 2 has a practical component, yeah, you'll be giving some lessons. And Delta Model 3 is designing a course as one of the specialisms you can choose, yeah, or you can choose to specialize in management in ALT. That's also possible at the moment. So all of them are interesting. I totally agree, yes, but do you think it makes sense to prepare for Model 1, to brush up on terminology, yeah, to test yourself, to sort of to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and then when you come to Model 2, you apply for that, you're well prepared, you can demonstrate that knowledge already, yeah? So that makes sense to me. Right. Let's look at each model step by step. Yeah, the first model is an exam. It's a test. It's a written test. And those of you who listened to the presentation about TKT, yeah, you may assume it's something similar to TKT. Well, I'll tell you about the differences. In TKT, you have to choose the correct answer. For example, if it's multiple choice, you choose A, B, or C. If it's a matching task, again, you are just putting things together and identifying the right answer. In Delta Model 1, you'll have to produce something, you'll be writing, okay? And that's what it makes a little bit more challenging, at least a little bit. So, if you want to pass Delta Model 1, and obviously if you take it, you want to pass, right? You need to demonstrate your deep understanding of the theories of first language acquisition and second language acquisition. You need to be able to understand the approaches, yeah, recognize, identify different types of approaches in the teaching materials and critically evaluate them, yeah, giving a comment on that. That's one of the parts about. You'll be demonstrating your understanding of teaching lessons on skills development, yeah, and systems, language lessons, like how to teach vocabulary, how to teach functional language, things like that. How to teach or give a lesson on receptive skills. There are certain procedures that you can rely on. And then obviously you are well aware of a range of teaching resources, different type of course books that you have already worked with. And in the exam, you will see an extract from a teaching material, yeah, from a source. And you'll have to evaluate it and summarize some of the features. You will also have to demonstrate your understanding of what testing is like, yeah, and the principles of assessment. Okay, I just want to remove this mouse. Right. Okay. So as for the exam structure, I've got 8 statements here, 8 statements. But I'm afraid, you know, when I've been preparing, well, to be honest, sometimes when I prepare the slides, I make mistakes. Sometimes I do it on purpose. That's the case. So have a look at the 8 statements and type in the chat box, do you think it's true? Or we need to change it slightly. Like number 1, there are 2 exam papers. Do you think it's true? or we need to change it somehow? Okay, number 2 is something we need to change. You're right. Yes, very good. Yes, we do need to change quite a lot here. Yeah, I'm going to highlight 1 is false. Well, actually, number 1 is correct. There are 2 papers, 2 parts in Delta Model 1. 3 models, 3 papers. No, we are talking about Delta Model 1 now, yeah, which is the test. Yes, if there is 1 break, exactly. There is a break, true. But the break is longer. It's not 10 minutes, it's half an hour. Very good. Yeah, 2 options, paper-based and computer-based. Okay. Any other things? Okay, let me just highlight the answers. Number 5, and what number 5? Is it okay? We need to change it. 8. Okay. 8 is true, actually. Yes. Okay. If you mean that, you're right. Cool. Okay. So, Delta Model 1 consists of 2 papers. Okay. Let me just clarify that. Each paper lasts for 1 hour and a half, and there is a break in between the parts. Yeah, half an hour, 30 minutes. For each paper, you can earn 100 marks. Yeah, if you answer all the questions without a single mistake. So altogether, you can earn 200 points. Yeah, marks. But it's enough to get 100 marks to be awarded a pass. Okay, can you see my slides, or it's only the problem with one of the participants? Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so I'll be continuing then. So the content might be different, yeah? So there might be different types of questions in terms of what test you have to evaluate, yeah? Or which definitions to give, things like that. But the task types are the same, it's reliable, and that's what we do when we prepare you for this model at our center, for example, yeah? So we give you a variety of sample papers, and we show you the strategies for each task so that you can rely on those. And obviously the content might be slightly different. Sometimes you are required to write a very short answer, like 1-word answer, and I'll show you that task in a moment. But quite often there will be longer written responses, like writing a sentence or a paragraph about something. Quite often you have to give examples, but you need to follow the rubric when you are required to give an example. And you'll be using continuous prose, but sometimes you can use bullet points, a grid or a table. You will always be using a pen when you're writing Delta Model 2. Yeah, and it's enough, yeah, to get 100 points to earn the certificate. Now, how can you prepare for Delta Model 1? Because you don't have to take the course, yeah, you can do it on your own. And there are certain sources of information that we can rely on, and I'll be recommending you some of them in a moment, as you can see here on the slide. First of all, the handbook is available. Yeah, you can find all the handbooks, yeah, like TKT handbook, Delta handbook, yeah, and so on. If you follow this link, yeah, Cambridge English website. There are plenty of books on methodology, and the list is nearly endless. I'm not going to recommend all of them, obviously, but I will recommend some. At the end of my presentation, you will see 3 slides with different sources that you can rely on. There are certain past papers that are available. There aren't many. Officially, you can find only 1 sample paper on the website, Cambridge website again. But yeah, we do have experience of getting feedback from our trainees those who take the exam, and we try to catch up with the news, what's happening, what changes they're making, and so on, so we can raise your awareness of what other tasks might be like. Yeah. And obviously, you can find quite a lot of websites that you can follow and read regularly, like Scott Thornberry's blog, for example, yeah, and some others. Okay, let's have a look at this word cloud. What I wanted to do is to ask you to guess what these pieces of information mean related to Delta Model 1. I have some numbers here, and I do have some phrases. So for example, you have to write clearly, yeah? So obviously, it'll be a requirement for all of the parts, yeah? How about the numbers? Who can guess what number 3 might mean? Yes, 100 marks, yeah, is a score you can earn. That's right, and it's a passing score as well, and the one that you can get on each paper. Yeah, 3 models. Okay, 3 models is a good guess, but we are talking about the Delta Model 1. It doesn't make sense now. 3 hours. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good guess. Yeah. How about 5 then? Any guesses about 5? 3 task types, maybe. Oh, good. Okay, yeah, here we are coming to the answers. Yeah, 5 long questions. Good ideas. I'm going to show you step by step, yeah, what they mean. Well, first of all, there are 2 papers. Both of them have the same length. Yeah, it takes 1 hour and a half to take paper 1, yeah, and then to sit paper 2 as well. And there is a 30-minute break in between. So, but you can see that in paper 1, there are 5 tasks, and in paper 2, there are 3 tasks, right? Which means you can't, you can assume that in paper 1, some of the answers will be short responses, right? Shorter tasks. And that's what I wanted to highlight. So you can earn 100 points for both of the papers, which means both of them are of equal importance. It's just silly to skip some of the tasks. Yeah, you can guess some of the answers and you can still earn a mark or so, because you need to earn 100 marks anyway. The task types are different, and obviously some of the task types that are quite straightforward is labeling, yeah, when you have to give a very short answer just by providing a term. You'll see that task in a moment. Or you need to give a definition with an example, yeah, and that requires a little bit longer response, yeah, and for some parts you'll be producing a bigger text. And I have already said that you should write in ink and clearly, accurately, and sometimes you can use bullet points and tables if necessary. There will be a special booklet provided for your answers, yeah, so you'll be writing them. So, how to understand what is required, what you need to understand if you take this test, yeah? Have a look at the range of terms I'm highlighting here in this word cloud. There are plenty of them, yeah? And obviously the list is endless. You have to read a lot of books on methodology, yeah, and do research to find out more. And I'm just highlighting a concise list of terms from different areas. Now, how many areas can you identify here? 1, like phonology, or maybe some other areas? Could you type in an idea what areas you can identify here? Something like teaching methodology, yeah, maybe something else. I'm not going to prompt you. I want to hear from you. Behaviorism, perfect, exactly, right. So first and second language acquisition series, very good. Psychology, there is an element of psychology because behaviorism comes from psychology, yeah. Teaching approaches, yes. Methods, very good. Dogma, exactly, yes. Tonic syllable, what's that about? Theoretical grammar, okay. I recognize some terms from Russian universities, yeah. So language awareness, different terms related to language lessons, yeah, lessons on systems. Yeah, very good. Yeah, Suggestopedia is one of the methods, yeah, very good. Perfect, you are full of great ideas, full of awesome, I'd say. Yes, great. Okay, so another question that I'm going to ask you by looking at this slide, who can give me a clarification of the acronyms you can see here? For example, SLA, what does it stand for? Any idea? Yes, testing validity. Well done, Irina. Okay, SLA, what does it stand for? Fantastic, Anna. Thank you very much. Yes, absolutely right. Yes, all of you. Good job. How about TBL? What does it stand for? Here is another acronym here. Yes, perfect, perfect. Okay, exactly. So you've managed to identify quite important areas. Because it's unpredictable what's going to happen in the test. Yeah, the content is changing, but we can prepare somehow by focusing on certain areas. For example, if you've studied theoretical grammar at university, probably grammatical terms is not something that you need to focus on, but you can focus on phonology by referring to a book by Peter Roach, for example, or you can focus on assessment, yeah, and so on and so forth. So you can identify certain areas of weaknesses and strengths, something reliable, and something that you need to do further research about, yeah, to be better prepared for the test. Right, so let's have a look to give you a flavor of what Delta Model 1 is like. Yeah, let's have a look at one of the tasks. Here you can see the copy of the extract of the exam taken from the handbook. Have a look. Try to see whether you recognize the terms, or at least the areas. If you don't know the particular term, maybe you can see it's about grammar, or it's about phonology, or it's about discourse or assessment. Have a look. Okay, authentic is a very good guess. Unfortunately, there is no such a thing as an authentic test because we do design tests for teaching purposes, so they lack authenticity by the definition. Fillers, that's a good guess. Discourse markers, another good guess. I need something else. But yeah, well done. I like this brainstorming. Okay, so the first term is actually back channeling. Okay, you show interest by saying something like, really? Yeah, exactly. I've seen the example. Yeah, that's something that we do use. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now the test, I could see only one performance. Okay, there is a term which is direct test. Yeah, yeah, for example, a listening is something necessary for, I don't know, for a secretary, receptionist, yeah? So she'll be tested by giving her a listening test, yeah? We can test her by giving her a listening test or something. C is clear, I think I can highlight that. You're right, absolutely right. And yeah, or EMI, exactly, yeah. So basically, several answers might be acceptable, yeah? But if they're all clearly related, you'll be fine, yeah. Good job. Okay, What does CLIL stand for? Who can tell me? Lilia maybe, or Irina? Yeah, what does it stand for? Content and language integrated learning. Yeah, not teaching, learning. And EMI, yeah, English as a medium of instruction, right? Okay, good. Let's move on. So yeah, I've seen the answer for D. Well done. Yeah, many of you have identified that. I'm highlighting that. And now let's look at the consonant sound, which is quite tricky. It comes from phonology, obviously. And I've seen several terms that look very similar, and it's a bit confusing, but I'll accept any of them. Joseph, no, that's not right. That's not enough, at least. Okay, this is the answer. You can see, yeah. No, it's not a glottal stop. Yeah, we are talking about the sounds. Yes, and finally we have homonyms. Yeah, homonyms, which you've identified. Yeah, a homophone. Yeah, very good. Yeah, sorry, homonyms are different because it means pronunciation and spelling are the same. And a homophone is about the sounds that coincide, but the spelling might be different. Right, good job. Okay, the first task is very straightforward. If you know the term, yeah, you'll be given the term. Yeah, you're labeling the definitions. Now, the second task is slightly more challenging because here you'll be asked to give a definition on your own, yeah, of your own, and also to give an example so that you can illustrate, you can support your point of view, you show your understanding of the term, right? So let's have a look. Who knows what a compound is? If you don't remember a definition, maybe some examples come to mind from your university courses. Different parts, yes, two words come together and make a new word. For example, a bus stop, right? Traffic lights, good. Yes, snowman, perfect. Oh, yes. Very good. Can you think of a compound adjective, please? Who can give me an example? Good boy is a collocation. It's not a compound noun. Teapot, perfect, yeah. Blue-eyed, perfect. Hardworking, fantastic, yeah. Okay, how about the second one? Genre. Let's talk about that. It comes from discourse study. And if, yeah, plenty of great examples. Well done, yeah. Okay, an essay and report, they are texts of different genres, absolutely right, yeah. Yeah, fiction as a genre, yeah, very good, yeah. So what you are saying is not a definition, yeah. They're good ideas, but we need to define it somehow. Type of communication, not sure about that. Yeah, okay, good examples, yeah, we've got plenty of examples, yeah. It's hard to define it. I'll show you the definition in a moment. Okay, how about C, stative verb? A style or category, yeah, of, yeah, okay, you're coming towards the very good idea about how we can define genre. Yeah, I could see quite a lot of examples of stative verbs. Thank you very much. Yes, and some of you are giving an attempt to define the stative verb. Very good, awesome. Okay, finally, proficiency test. Who can either give me an example or clarify the term a little bit? Yeah. Delta is not a proficiency test, no. Yes, FCC, yes, that's right. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, it's about your language level, yeah, proficiency. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Other answers are very good. Yeah. CPE, of course. Yeah. Right. So what you need to produce there, what is expected from you? Yeah. First of all, it's good to use bullet points for this answer. Yeah. It's good to label the answers with the letters given. Yeah. You take them from from the terms. Yeah. From the rubric. Then you give a definition, which you can create on your own, and then you give examples. Yeah, and this is something as a layout. If it is clear, like what I am showing you right now, yeah, the examiner will see it and it'll be clear for them, and hopefully you'll get more points for that. Sometimes, you know, if the answer is messy, it's not well presented, you lose marks, which is silly. So we try to train our candidates to present things in the right way. Okay, right, no surprises here. What we couldn't define, yeah? Genre is tricky, yeah? Text type. I've seen a very similar idea, but you went away from the topic of texts. But yes, specific features, right? Okay, cool. Okay. Just, I can't show you all of the task types. We don't have enough time for that. But briefly, let's have a look at one more task, which comes from the second paper. It is the first task, which is not the most difficult task, let me just admit. But it's easier for this short presentation to analyze it. So you are given a context, you're given a situation. Yeah, somebody is working as a receptionist, as far as I remember, and she's taking a course. And at the beginning of the course, she's given a diagnostic test, yeah, to assess her level at the beginning, before she starts the course, yeah, or just at the beginning of the course, basically. And the test you can see on the right, yeah, exercise 6 and 7. It's an extract from the test, and the task says that there was also a separate speaking test, yeah, for her. So what you need to do is you need to evaluate the effectiveness of these activities, yeah, to assess the level of this particular student. You will have to make 6 points, and there will be positive and negative points, yeah, about this test. So, any ideas what might be good about task type, like listen and write down what you can hear? So what kind of test is that? I'm talking about exercise 6 from this task. Listen and write down what you can hear. What do we call that? Okay, nobody knows. Dictation, of course. It is a dictation. Yes, absolutely right. Okay, and what do we call a test which represents exercise 7 represents that type of test, yeah? Again, you have to listen and identify the right answer, A, B, or C. I think Lilia wanted to say multiple choice questions. You're right, actually, yeah. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Yeah, good job. Okay, yeah. Lazy typers. Okay, so do you think both dictation and multiple choice are reliable type of tests? What do you think in your experience? Multiple choice is what? More reliable, you think? Not very. So we can criticize it, but we need to keep in mind some principles of assessment to be able to do that. Yeah, high order of thinking. Yes, okay, that's a great idea. There is no creativity here. That's true. Yeah, we are not assessing anything of that kind. We are just assessing understanding of something. Yeah, and sometimes, like in exercise 7, the candidate might guess what the answer is, yeah, without understanding the answer. Good. So what I've got a couple of ideas, yeah, let's say we can brainstorm, and I'm confirming some of them. Yeah, Yes, exactly. Some tests are really practical, but they're not reliable, and that's what multiple choice is like. Yeah, there is no element of subjectivity though. Yeah, because you know what the correct answer is, whereas in like writing an essay or some speaking tasks, yeah, there is an element of subjectivity depending on who assesses you. So I have a couple of ideas here. Dictation acts as a form of note-taking, which is good for a receptionist. Yeah, it's a necessary skill for her. And that's a positive thing, of course. Yeah, it's a direct test of listening skills. Yeah, Lexis in the dictation, however, is not relevant. Yeah, if you look at the topic, yeah, it's taken from one of the course books and it's not relevant for her business context that we could see in the situation given. And both tasks, unfortunately, are scripted, obviously. They're taken from the course book, and obviously they lack authenticity. So those are some of the features, but the thing is, you don't have to identify positive and negative sides. You also need to present your answers so that they're clear and demonstrate your understanding. And for that, you need to do something like this. Yeah, you can use some kind of subheadings. This is positive, this is negative. Or you can do even better. You can use subheadings. Positive point, you are giving the positive point, application for the learner, and you are giving your supporting point of view, right? So this is the requirement of this particular task. Trust me, many people do identify different characteristics, but they can't justify their point of view, and that's why they're not awarded a mark for their answers. Right, let's talk about Delta Model 2. Model 1 is just a test. Seriously, it's a long test, it's challenging, but it's just a test, and you can prepare on your own. You don't have to take a course for that if you don't want to. For Delta Model 2, you'll have to take a course because there is a teaching component there. So, Delta Model 2 is about doing certain assignments. Yeah, you'll be given 5 assignments during the course. And I'll talk about them in a moment. All of the assignments will be marked by either a trainer, yeah, a center trainer, or by an external assessor with the reference to the assessment criteria, which will stay the same from the beginning to the end of the course. And they're available, of course, for you. The assignments will be focused on professional development, lessons on systems and skills, so teaching. I can't answer the questions about the price. I'm terribly sorry. So if you want to find out, have a look at the website. For example, our center offers courses like that. Yeah, you need to have a look at the website. So one of the assessments will be externally assessed, and some other, yeah, like 3 of them, will be internally assessed by the center tutors. Let's have a look at the assignments a little bit more closely. So, the professional development assignment is a kind of essay that you'll have to produce throughout the course. You'll be working in it from stage 2 up to the end of the course. You'll be reflecting on your experience, you'll be identifying your strengths, the areas you need to improve, and working out an action plan and then evaluating the success of those. There will be also an experimental practice that you'll have to run. It's a kind of lesson on a new approach, technique, or something that you want to try out. That teaching, that lesson won't be assessed, but the essay will contribute to the professional development assignment. Finally, there are 4 assignments, 2 on skills and 2 on systems. And of course, they should be of different kinds, like skills, receptive and productive, systems, yeah, different types of systems. For each of them, you will have to produce a background essay demonstrating your research and awareness of the topical area. The essay will be 2,000 up to 2,500 words. You'll have to plan and deliver a lesson based on that research. And then you'll be evaluating that experience too. All of the works will be written in continuous prose. Sometimes you can use bullet points and tables of different kinds. If you take Delta Model 2, it means you'll be exposed to a variety of input sessions, delivered by the trainers who work for this center. The topical areas are many, they're endless, and usually the trainers decide on what input sessions to run when the course has been launched already, to meet their trainees' needs, to help them. They can change the curriculum slightly. Obviously, all of the areas that are covered in Delta Model 1 can be presented in Delta Model 2, and they will be. And you'll have to demonstrate your awareness of all of the areas, and that's why taking models in this order makes sense. In terms of the center support, you won't be left alone. It's not only about doing something individually, on your own. You'll be guided throughout the course. There will be 200 learning hours, which includes not only face-to-face components, of course, but some research, reflection, observation of experienced teachers, of peers, and so on. And you'll be teaching, of course, as well. Teaching practice, both assessed and unassessed. So everything that happens throughout the course is based on formative internal assessment, which means two trainers are going to support you and guide you to help you develop, to improve your skills and also improve your paperwork. Towards the end of the course, you'll be assessed by an assessor who comes from Cambridge, is assigned by Cambridge. And the results will be announced in a couple of months' time, whether you passed or you got a merit and so on. Obviously, all of the assessment points are given with the reference to the assessment criteria. What are the assessment criteria for the essays that you have to produce on a Delta course? The quality of writing, for example, there are many inaccuracies. You will lose a lot of marks for that. Lesson planning and evaluation. Can you plan thorough lessons? Are they reliable? Can you follow them? Can you anticipate a variety of problems? Do you know your priorities for the lesson and so on? And then your self-reflection skills as well. Classroom management is still important at this level. You'll be demonstrating a variety of teaching techniques during the lessons, and with deeper understanding what to use and how to respond and when not to intervene during activities. Throughout the course, you'll have to demonstrate your understanding of the teaching principles, in a variety of areas. And what I'm highlighting here is you have to deliver a cohesive and suitably varied lesson. I think there is a typo here. But the thing is, it means that you need to know what the aim of the lesson is, and everything contributes to meeting that aim, to achieving that. And the self-evaluation should show, again, your understanding of what went wrong and what was good. So the question is, can you fail the course? Obviously, I think that, I think you're giving the right answer, exactly. And that's why we have a rigorous process of selection candidates for Delta Model 2, well, for all models, actually. We will raise your awareness if you're not ready. We will give you some tips how to prepare better and when to come to apply again, because we don't want you to pay a lot of money and fail, obviously. Right, so to finish my presentation, I'll talk briefly about Delta Model 3. It's basically an extended assignment. You have to produce a piece of work about one of the specialism areas that you've selected. It's a kind of course design usually. You'll be awarded a pass if you get 80 marks, yeah, if everything is relatively accurate and the ideas are reliable and so on. But if it is exceptionally good, you can get merit or distinction. There are the exam sessions for Delta Model 1 and also for submitting submissions. Delta Model 3 are either in December or in June. Yeah, there are two times in a year, in academic year, when you can do that. You have to inform the center in advance. You have to register for the exam and for the paper submission. The assessment criteria for Delta Model 2 are the following. So you have to demonstrate your understanding of the topic. So for example, if it's about teaching young learners, you'll be figuring out what teaching young learners is like and what problems might be there, yeah, and how you can tackle those. You should be conducting needs analysis and summarizing your findings, and obviously designing your course based on those. Everything should be connected. Again, it's about cohesion and coherence. And you'll be talking about assessment too in that course description, because assessment is part of the course. If your ideas are clear and the quality is good, then you'll be awarded some marks for that as well. Okay, right. Now, how can you prepare for Delta? Yeah, for Delta Model 2, obviously, you have to take the course, but it doesn't mean that you can't prepare for the course, yeah? For Model 1 and 3, actually, you can do everything on your own. But what is important, first of all, download the handbook and find out as much as possible about the requirements. That's a must. When you are aware what the requirements are, you'll see whether you're ready for that or not, or how long it might take, and if you need help from trainers. If your level of English is good enough, it won't be a problem, obviously, because everything is in English, and yeah, it'll be a piece of cake. If you are interested in getting more information about which books to read, how to evaluate materials, and so on and so forth, you can take IHCAM model. It's a course, Certificate in Advanced Methodology, which we call a kind of bridge in between Celta and Delta. And if you don't have Celta, perhaps it's a good idea to take Celta first, because it's got the same practical components, teaching practice, and you'll be assessed, and therefore you'll be better prepared for Delta experience. Some of the centers don't accept anyone without Celta. Yeah, if you apply for a Delta, it's a good idea to have it. And yeah, you do research, you read about Delta on different websites. You can follow some of our graduates who run blogs. They are very helpful. And don't forget to do some research about the center you're applying for. Yeah, some of the centers are well recognized, and some of the centers are not well prepared, not well equipped, and perhaps you can't take Delta Model 1 there if they are not a registered center. Okay. So what you do, yeah, you just go to the website. Yeah, you identify the center which is nearby. Then you fill in the application form that you can find on the website. You send it to the center. The managers will send you a pre-interview task. You do the task. If it's done successfully, you'll be invited for an interview with a Delta trainer. Okay, it's quite a straightforward process, and the trainers can recommend you how to prepare better if they think you're not well prepared, yeah, you're not that ready, yeah, they'll give you some tips what to do. Right, so some of the benefits, yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of points that I usually demonstrate. This is a prestigious qualification, of course, yeah, and it will open some doors for you. But you can also meet quite a lot of people who are the same in terms of interest in professional development, yeah, and that's very important. We get feedback from our trainees on a regular basis, and many of them say that the course is very beneficial, especially for experienced teachers. those who want to develop professionally, those who want to get the high quality qualification. This experience helped them become better aware of all the principles and techniques, and their teaching became more conscious, which is a very good thing to say. So I'm very grateful to them. Now, I promised to share some books that you may find useful in terms of Delta preparation, but if you are interested in just doing that without doing Delta, it's also fine, yeah? Many of the books you can see here, all of them are about methodology, okay? There are some specific books that are very, very helpful. Basic ones, Learning to Teach English, Learning Teaching by Scrivener and Harmer, The Practice of English Language Teaching, and some more advanced books and more specific, like on CLIL, for example, yeah, or professional development. This is the first slide. The second slide is about books about language, to raise your language awareness and to read more about some terminology related to systems. To do research, to prepare better for your lessons, and so on. Yeah, right. And finally, some more books that I didn't find a category for, like phonology, for example, yeah, or assessment. They're also very important, and I am highlighting some of them here. Right, and you can also subscribe to different websites, yeah, follow certain bloggers. So a couple of ideas are on this slide. And yeah, so this is basically about Delta, what you can show, what you can demonstrate, and your motivation to take Delta. Okay, that's all basically I wanted to talk about. So if there are questions, let me just have a look at the question box. Can we apply for Delta? I think I've answered this question. So in many centers, we do prefer to take Celta candidates, of course, Celta qualified teachers. But there are exceptions, and the interview will reveal whether you're ready for that or not. Okay. That's basically it. Yeah. Okay, we don't have any questions then. Thank you very much for being active listeners and participants. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Anna, thank you very much for being with us today for this great presentation. I hope that all this session helped us to understand the difference between different English teaching qualifications. And now our participants, our attendees can choose the best one for them. So we discussed TKT, CELT-P, CELT-S, and Delta, and now it's time to talk about Celta. So I copy the link in the chat box again. If you want to join the event, please follow the link and register for another webinar about Celta. We're going to talk about Celta online. This is a great opportunity in this COVID-19 period. Our colleagues from IHE Izmir will be there. So
I can join, yes.
please join. I think it will be really interesting. So once again, thanks a lot. The materials, the recording, the certificates of attendance will be distributed soon. Sometimes it takes some time to prepare all the materials, but we will share them, I promise. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, dear attendees, and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Cambridge Week Day 4, and